Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about how you chose not to live your life in reverse. You chose not to move the opposite direction. You chose not to go against the grain. Even though we all got small habits that show that we did do some things a little backwards and in reverse, but we did not live that way. It's a difference between eating with your left hand all the time and eating with your left hand for one meal, you know. I wouldn't say you're left-handed if you just ate one meal. But we are in a space in time and age today where everything has been, so they say, reverse engineered. So everything that's good is now considered bad. Everything that's bad, they are trying to put a good connotation on it, you know. We got the bad bit, which I don't know why females would call themselves that. Then we got the bad boys, you know, which they say that people look at them as in some kind of good light, you know, for masculinity or something like that. But a lot of things have been flipped in reverse. And as I just stated, we could see where the reversal has started from. If your energy, your spirit naturally pulls and resonates with the creator in this light over here, and the system is pulling you over this way, the other team is pulling you this way, that means when you're not flowing in your light and you're moving this other way, you're actually working in reverse. It should be going this way, but instead we're going this way. And when you actually process how hard and how long you fought in, you know, your way of life, your walk of life, and how you chose all the decisions you made to not live in reverse, a lot of those decisions and choices we chose to make got us to the space to where we at today, meaning that we didn't have to find ourselves wandering lost for a long period of time throughout our life. We had spans throughout our life where we was roaming and kind of lost, but we always resonated and pulled towards that connection. Everything is in reverse out here, you know. When you think about transactions, usually for transactions, say they shut the system down right now and we had to start going engaging with people doing barter trading. Doesn't matter the rules behind it or how people feel certain ways about bartering, but that would be the first means. You know, we do that from neighbor to neighbor, is we barter. And if we was bartering, you naturally wouldn't go get items from beings who you knew didn't have, you know, the best energy. They was on the other side of the spectrum. Because before all of this stuff right here, we already understood that we were spiritual beings first, and that you don't take everything that someone gives you, and you also should not touch or take everything that you see out and about in this physical realm. Meaning, when we go to these convenience stores, a lot of people pick up clothes, touch clothes, pick up foods, put them back down. You know, we touching things that already came built with a vibration when it was made in these factories. I'm just saying factories because we do got farmers markets where people are growing. It wasn't made in a factory. I'm just using a factory as an example. We have these things that was made in the factory. It comes with a signature energy. Then you have all these other beings who are touching the same items you're touching. So then we kind of lose the process of connecting with the items because everybody's running through touching. When you have farmers markets, everybody is not touching the food. You know, you're looking as closely as possible. You see the one you want, then you grab it and pick it up. But we are in such a reversal day and age and time that you don't even have to establish any kind of connection before you barter and trade or before you go purchase items. So you put yourself in positions where you're constantly compromising or tolerating certain aspects of life, you know, and certain transactions that you do manage to happen or experience in life, you know. And this is just from the spectrum of operating in this realm and just going from hand to hand transactions where Now you can go to customer service and they're going to treat you like a robot. They aren't going to treat you like you're the spiritual being within, having this human experience, and you're having a hard time with an item or a product or something, and you bringing it back either to refund your money or you want to exchange it for another item. Everyone knows how difficult customer service can be, and these positions should be filled with people who are good with spiritual beings, because we're all spiritual beings. So in layman's terms, they should be having people in those positions that's good with humans, that's good at reading energies, that's good with communicating outwardly, that mastered their energy and motion, because now you're dealing with other beings who aren't necessarily upset and frustrated with you, but they're frustrated with the service or the product or the company that they went through or that they purchased. So now you don't know who to blame, who to get mad at, or who to fault, So at the end of the day, we take it all out on whatever is right there. Some people take it right out on the customer service people. Me personally, I know that it's the corporate, it's the company that I'm going through. I have to go through them. So that's usually why I try to stick to mom and pop shops, because I like more of an engagement. I like to feel more welcomed. I like it to be more hospitable. It's just more grounding and more connection when you deal with smaller companies and mom and pop shops, On the other end of the spectrum, living in reverse, we out here all looking to be in relationships, Man is looking for woman, woman is looking for man. It's crazy that we're even looking, because women can walk out the house and see men, men can walk out the house and see women. But we're going to look past all the ones that we do see, and we're just going to keep looking, because apparently the ones around is not good enough. So this is our process out here right now. I'm not saying everyone does this. I'm just saying for the predominant masses of most of us, that was the process. Of course, us over here, we grew out of that space, so that's not what we're really concerned with. But dealing with these relationships, right? I ain't never been no simp. I ain't never been no sucker. I ain't never been no, what they want to call him, no bitch ass nigga in any of these kind of situations. You know what I mean? Like, I done growing up, like in transitioning, I done been in a beta male position, meaning that I wasn't the full-on provider, but I wasn't no simp. I wasn't just tolerating. It was like I was kind of leading from the position that I was in. But now I'm transitioned. I'm not in that space anymore. But I was never one of those simps, or somebody who just kissed ass or did what people wanted to do just because. But the reversal of the relationships is, you can go out, meet somebody. I'll use myself as an example. A couple months ago, maybe end of last year, middle of last year sometime, I had ran into somebody while I was out eating with some family. They was serving. They wasn't really serving. They was like a hostess. They was eye peeling. I liked it. They was like throwing the subtle signs and signals. I waited till we finished eating. I went over, introduced myself, gave my business card, my number and stuff on the back, and just told them to reach out. So with me doing that is me showing interest. On the other side of it, when they message me first, because I don't have their number, that's showing interest. But the way it works in this weird society is when you show interest is when they start to not show interest in reverse. So it's kind of like you say you love your mom, your brother, your siblings and stuff, and you care about them, and you want to show them you care about them by being there for them emotionally, physically, just trying to be more caring, giving. You doing all these things for them to show that you care about them. But then when you out here in the dating world or doing things with people, it's the opposite. It's in reverse. So let's say like I had 5 females I was engaging with, example, and then one of them I wanted. All right. So just because I used this as an example, let's just say the one I just mentioned, who I gave my number, let's say I really wanted that one, but I had 4 other ones in the mix that I was talking to. The 4 other ones was all in scouting. So I didn't have the same want for them. But the other one who I went out my way for, I wanted that one. These ones over here, I was showing, that I'm me, but I wasn't putting a whole lot of energy and emphasis into it. This one, I kind of cared about a little bit, and I could see something vibing over there, so I started putting more energy into this one over here. So these ones, since I wasn't pouring energy into there, they're pouring back into me more. They're just trying to fill me up as much as possible. I'm not showing them that I care in those manners because I honestly didn't. This one over here, I did care about. I was trying to pour into this one. This one is like, okay, well, they're pouring into me, so let me move my cup out the way. But it's like you open the door in the beginning. So it's like the way this whole witchy society is set up for a man and woman, woman to man, it's like men meet women. If the woman don't pull back or start becoming witchy, because I hear some men say, oh man, she too clingy, she do too much, she always want to be up underneath me, blah, blah, blah. And then they end up with somebody who doesn't have those attributes. They're not as feminine, they are more argumentative, all these other things. But then on the flip side of it, you have the women who are also in the reversal. So it's like, if a man showing that he care, because they have this one ideology of men, they just assume that, oh, he's a simp, or he probably does this with all the females. Hell no. Hell no. All of them do not get the same vibes and energy. I don't go out my way doing the same thing for every single one of them. But when I finally pick one and decide to, it's like, oh, hell no. They making me pay for not operating in reverse. So what I should have been doing is what the society is saying, because I'm supposed to be operating in reverse, backwards. I open the door, she opens the door. I show a little bit, she show a little bit. I pull back, she pull back. She put in, I put in. It's supposed to be this game where, you know, every time one cares, the other one's supposed to not care. And then this one starts caring and the other one's not supposed to care. And I'm like, this is too much reversal. It's too weird. It's too many things that's going backwards. And it got everybody in a space right now to where most women don't want to deal with men and most men don't want to deal with women, you know. And then I know a lot of men that want to deal with women, but women have not all women, but a lot of, when I'm speaking like this, y'all gotta understand, like, we're creating a tribe over here. So I understand the women that's over this way are extremely knowledgeable, y'all are extremely feminine, y'all are extremely tapped in. I know this. That's why the universe pushed me out here as the vessel to kind of stand and be an example, put me and my life out there, these experiences and this knowledge, you know what I mean? So when I'm speaking like this, this goes for your peers that you have around you, because I already know y'all vibing higher. That's why y'all even tapped into this kind of information. So don't put the shoe on if it don't fit, you know what I mean? Yes, you're female, so to a degree it's a woman's shoe, but it's not your size, you know what I mean? Like, you probably a women's 4, this is a women's 10. Like, just relax, you know. I'm talking about the majority of the masses. I just try to speak in a formula to where I'm not constantly saying demonic women, witchy women, demonic women, witchy women. I try to be a little bit more universal, because we should already understand that over here. Now, if you knew, that's different. You just gotta go feed into some more content and come back in and catch up and tap back in. You know what I mean? But for the ones that's right here, it doesn't relate specifically to you, because I see all the queens and goddesses and all my high vibing divine femmes in there tapped in, showing love. Like, I definitely appreciate y'all giving me examples and hope in life that all females and women are not the same, you know. So it do get a little frustrating when I see some taking it personal, when if the shoe don't fit, don't put it on. But clearly for some it does fit to a certain degree. But this is information that kind of help you and the ones that's around you as well too, because women deal with other women still. Even though I know women say, oh, I don't like women, y'all still have to engage with them, you know what I mean? But it's a weird process out here, because I know for me, and I see, like, I got some other associates that, you know, we pretty masculine. You know, we don't run around simping. You know, if we got weak links, it's like weaker in like different spaces, not out here like standing solid on this ground that we walk on, you know what I mean? And we all have the same difficulties with trying to interact and engage with the opposite, because it's all in reversal. When I was growing up, women used to be more tapped in and trying to get relationships. it's so reversed now that the men are tapped in trying to get relationships, and the women just want to keep a bunch of guys around. You know, one guy is always available for whatever she needs. You know, one guy is a really good mechanic. One guy got some really good wood. You know, one guy just like to always drop some money off in their account just to get her attention. You know, they don't even have to ask for it. I've seen it happen plenty of times. They don't respond, drop some Cash App or a Venmo, and I'm just like... But guys have access to them to do these things, you know what I mean? But I say that to say, like, all of us, in the way this system is set up, is trying to force us to live in reverse. We did such a good job at not following the masses, not operating in reverse, that we had to take a brute force of having to be more isolated, having to stay to self more, because a lot of us, we got big families, a lot of us are really good with people. A lot of us, you know, did like sports and other kind of events where we was engaged with a lot of people. Like, we don't have a problem communicating with people and being in those kind of environments. It's just, it become so toxic that as soon as you step foot out the house and you go the wrong way, you just start melting just like this, and you just slowly start to disappear. And y'all gotta realize and pat yourself on the back for real, as far as like how long you fought this battle before you was aware and once you became aware. They are trying to make us emotionless, unempathetic, you know, trying to pull our joy away, trying to take the hope out of us. The other side doesn't have any hope. So once you remove our hope, that means you start losing connection with source, because that's where the brute force of the hope is coming from. That's the key ingredient to the recipe, is the hope. So we gotta understand, like, one, you did a really good job at not operating in reverse, and for two, there's still a lot of beings out here that's in the middle but getting pulled to the witchy side, and then there's people who are self-aware on the witchy side. Those are the ones you really gotta be careful with, the ones who are really self-aware and they know what they're doing and they are using the other playbook. All the time it doesn't come off like they are, because their job is to hide it and to mask it. So when you got things that's pulling you away from source, meaning like you don't have to be talking about God, but if you're doing things that's making you turn colder, for one, it's kind of a form of protection, but for two, you have to be mindful that you know how to turn it on and off, because some people turn it on and they forget where the off switch is at, and they're just walking around cold to everybody. So now you done strayed away from being right here next to the creator to you slowly start swaying around to the middle area. You haven't went all the way over to the witchy side, but you start swaying in the middle. You know, don't lose that. It's a hard battle. You know, a lot of us do have to deal with feeling lonely or isolated. You know, we not really lost. It's just not many of us out here. So it's not like you just walk outside the house like, damn, they go one of my brothers and sisters right there. You know what I'm saying? They got a family right there. Nah, we got to migrate here in the digital world until we formulate something to where we can all kind of migrate to, whether it's just one base location like a headquarter, or whether it's in multiple areas, because everybody don't have the same finances to travel around, but we all still want to mingle in real lifetime, you know. And that's the whole point of getting the land. If we start processing, stop buying houses, fuck buying a house, get the land, build the house. You know, the same way they build subdivisions, you can literally buy land and build on it like a subdivision. And you can have different families that you want to have around you, near you. You can have different tribe members living around near you. You know what I mean? You go through a 30-day to a, you know, like a 90-day, 6-month evaluation time to read the spirit and energy. Have them around you, mingling before you allow them in the land and on the tribe. Everybody got duties and they role to play within the tribe. You know what I mean? And then it starts to formulate us back to not being in reversal. It gives us more life to look forward to. It gives us more reason and more meaning, you know? It's a difficult world out here right now. So if you don't really know how to do Pythagorean theorem, for the ones that know math and was in around that time, y'all know what the hell Pythagorean theorem is. If you don't know how to take an apple and times it by 1, carry it by the square root of 5, divide it by 22, and then what else can we do? I don't know, cut it in half into a percentage, which you gotta do all this up down carrying and all these other. If you haven't figured out how to do these things, you're gonna have to learn in order to excel to these higher heights and levels in the spiritual realm, because a lot of these things is really simple and on the surface, but it gets really intricate once you start understanding, and it makes sense on how the system started operating and slowly started separating us, divide and conquer. They are doing it extremely well right now. Now it's hard for men and women to even mingle with each other, because women don't care what kind of being you are. You could be one of the most righteous beings in the world, but if your bag isn't big enough, they don't care. They don't give a fuck about your character. They don't care if you could take them to a much better place when they leave this realm. In their world, they're just thinking, oh, I don't want to be broke here in the physical world. It's like, bitch, you broke spiritually. Fuck difference do it make? Everybody talking about I want to live comfortably. Yeah, because you're on social media constantly feeding yourself and seeing what everybody else is doing. How about you get the fuck off of social media for a week, 2-3 weeks, a year or something. Stop looking at what everybody else is doing, because even though people say, oh, I can manage it, I can handle it, it's working you in reverse. You're seeing it, but you're also idolizing it to a small degree. When we see people with something we don't have, we either want it, care about it a lot, or we figure out ways to say, oh, we ain't worried about that, or we don't need that right now, or it'll come to us later on. We figure out that. But when you're not watching what other people are doing, you're not concerned with that. You're only focused on your life bettering tomorrow. You want to make the best out of you can today, and then you want to do even more better than that tomorrow, the next day following. You know what I mean? We not living in reverse, but the system is working in reverse. Keep on fighting a good fight, you know what I mean? To all my divine fam, I appreciate all of y'all sending a lot of love and light and keeping the hope and faith alive. Because I be helping out some of my brothers in real lifetime, and some of us get beat down out here, just tired of reaching out and trying to do the man leading thing. So you got to go take initiative just to get shot down. We've been dealing with that rejection our whole life. But then it's like you get in the door, and then they literally treat you like a piece of meat now. They literally, hey, they come up there, jump on you, hang out for a second, then they ghost you. They disappear, they gone. You know what I mean? Or you communicate with some, and then they start asking you the question, what do you do for work? How much money do you make? Then they start looking around at your items and your material possession. They be like, oh, he ain't got no money. Get the hell away from you from that reason as well too. So it's like, it's very shallow and surface level out here, and it's operating the wrong way. So most of them are focused on, oh, I need to survive. You need to survive spiritually first. I don't know why that doesn't make sense to people. Like, you have to survive spiritually first before you can survive physically. If everything happens in the spiritual realm first, physical realm second, then to me that's what would make the most sense. All right, damn, I always been looking for the man with the best bag, or the man that looks the best, or all these other attributes besides the one that is going to be moving with the creator, pretty loyal, a rider, pretty honest and upfront. Because they all say, oh, men are always going to cheat. Yeah, you can say that, but they don't call it cheating in other realms. And then also it depends on how honest the man is up front. You can get somebody that really love you and that's going to take care of you for life, and then he's such an honest being, like, yeah, I might engage with other people occasionally from here and there, but I'm always going to be here for you. I'm always going to take care of us. You always going to come first. It's going to be a whole lot of things that shows that, all right, this is the queen right here. You seen the king talking to a few of those other little ones around there, but this is the queen right here. She got more power than all of you. And we all got to step back into our powers. We all got to step back into our natural flow, which is following nature and the creator and the source. You know what I mean? But pat yourself on the back. Y'all did a really good job at not living in reverse and fighting this war and this battle out here. You know what I mean? And just remember, if it's pulling your energy and motion, if you start feeling like you're getting emotional over something that you care about and they're making you feel like you shouldn't care about, don't beat yourself down for caring about it. You just have to understand that these beings care less, and then they're taking different avenues to reverse engineer the whole situation. You know, I'm never gonna stop caring. I don't give a fuck how people look at me. Oh man, that's not masculine, you care. Oh, that's not this, that, you care. I'm like, oh, you showing feelings, you weird. I don't care. It doesn't change my walk of life. It doesn't make me stop being the man that I am today, you know? So when you get comfortable in yourself, then that shit doesn't really bother you like that. That's a stereotype that the society put out here to kind of push everybody down into a weird space, you know? Men don't want to be too masculine. Men don't want to be too submissive, you know? It's like this weird space. It's like, once you follow natural law, all of that weird confusion that you had before, it gets cleared right away, and you already understand your role you're supposed to do. You have to be nurturing to a degree if you got little ones, if you got family that you care about. That just makes sense to me. Everybody got a mom, a grandma, or something. So when you think about natural law and tribal, the men, what they just said, fuck their mom, fuck their grandmas? No, they still had some nurturing attributes about them. You know, it's just all this witchy sauce being thrown out here. But I don't want to run it up too long, you know what I mean? Anybody want to reach out to me, hit me on Instagram. I am extremely responsive over there. Emails, I am really slow, because emails usually come with a really long message, and y'all know how I feel about that. I want the voice message. I'll set up the video chats. I don't charge for any of it, you know what I mean? I'm not one of those beings out here. I'll charge the system. I'll do weird advertisements on my channel from other companies before I start charging the people around me that really want to engage or communicate, you know, or just need some different insight. But tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.